So I was asking myself, what's the secret for the hatzlacha of this program? There are a number of reasons that something would have hatzlacha. One is that there could be tzeniut, something that's hidden. This is not hidden. Then I thought about what I had heard from Rabbi Eli Mansour. He shared that many years ago he was on a bus ride with Rabbi Matasyahu Solomon in Eretz Israel, and they went to Mir, and he asked, what's the secret of Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel that he has a tremendous success, the way leaps and bounds, the yeshiva expanded. So Rav Matasyahu Solomon said that, you know why he's matzliach? It's because he has Parkinson's disease and he's always shaking. Nobody could give him ayin hara. Nobody would think or wish they would be in his shoes. So because of that, he has hatzlacha. So that also doesn't apply here, because you come in, everybody is good looking, everybody is everybody is top of the crop of this town. So I don't think there is question of that one too. I think what could be one of the secrets of the success over here, beside the Misirut Nefesh that people who are involved in doing here, the secret is what Chatam Sofer says, V'yadua. He said, Yaakov Avinu gave Yosef ketonet pasim. Ketonet pasim, just a quote, what's the significance? He's brought on ketonet pasim. The word pasim is an acronym for the name of the malach who's emunah ala parnasa. It's a malach for hatzlacha. So Yosef knew the name of the malach for hatzlacha in order to be able to tap into the resources and being able to bring down the shefa. But he says, if that's the case, how come he was in jail? How come he was by Potiphera? How come he was sold? He says, because there was machloket. He couldn't even activate the Shem Malach. But when he was able to make shalom with his brothers, in his heart, that's the time vayilitzu min habo, vayegalach v'yechalef siglotav, v'yosef hamashbir l'chol hamaras. He became the person who supported, sustained not only his family in Mitzrayim, the whole world. So he says that's the secret of the success, having shalom. So I think that's something you guys have. There is a shalom, I think, between the people who are running the program, between everybody who attends this. It's a program for the community. And my humble blessing is that Be'ez Hashem, you should continue to have shalom. You should be zocher to the name of Shem Ketonet Pasim, that this program should have hatzlacha in Gashmiut and Ruchniut both, Be'ez Hashem. The month of Elul is a month that we talk about Avodah. Avodah means that you work on yourself. The whole year we work on ourselves. We work on our midot, our character traits. We want to improve ourselves. And it's different by that self-improvement that's said by the Goyish world, that they want to work on themselves. That's one aspect. We go much deeper because we believe working on ourselves means that our neshama is becoming in charge for the goof. Avodah has three meanings. It's in three different contexts. We see Avodah. Avodah is something about that we work on ourselves, on midot. I want to improve myself to become a better person. Avodah refers to Avodat Korbanot, when you bring sacrifices in Bet HaMikdash. That's called Avodah, Avodah Korbanot. Avodah is also Tefillah, Avodat Tefillah. The common denominator between these three concepts is one thing, that you are being sholet on Nefesh HaBahamit. You're taking your mind, your sechel, your neshama, and you're taking a nefesh behemit. It could be your own nefesh behemit, your own body, your own mind, which is running shovav during the tefillah, wants to go and think about other things, and you make it focused. Listen, come here. Listen, sweetie. We are davening now. That's an avodah. Avodat korbanot. You take a behema, wants to run around, you bring the behema, you subdue the behema, and you shech the behema leman Hashem. And avodah, working on ourselves, means that we are goof and neshama. The goof is the baby, neshama is the adult. The goof could be like a horse, the neshama is like the rider, and you want to go ahead and tame this horse. You want the horse, because rider could only win the battle while he's on the horse, but the horse is not tame, it's wild, wants to go around. So you're holding the leash and you're telling the horse, I want to feed you, I want to give you rest, but this is the derech. You have to go left here, you have to go right over there. That's also an avodah, working on ourselves. And all of this, and so we try to subdue. So avodah depends, the whole year it applies to us. During month of Elul, it's tremendous time for avodah, working on ourselves. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that in this time of the year, I'm going to give you a much bigger return. There's a business that if you spend on it, you put $1, you get $10 during the year. Now you put $1, you get $100, you get $1,000. Hashem says that I'm going to Anile Dodi. You put one step forward, Dodili, I'm going and pull you up. Beside that, famously Baal Shem Tov says, Hamta Baltanya, Hamelech Basadeh, the king is in the field, means that he's accessible. So you could ask him for help. Imagine that you would go ahead and you buy Tesla, have them stocks, and you're wondering when is the best time, and suddenly you're walking and you see Elon Musk in the street. Tell me, when is a good time? He says, I'll share with you. This Thursday afternoon, I'm about to put in and buy something new. Buy Thursday morning. It's the best time. It's going to shut up. Who's not going to go ahead and take everything they have and put it into this stock? Hashem is telling us. Today, Rosh Chodesh Elul, I'm giving you 40 days. It's going to set your whole year. So what better thing? Making sure to join the Oraisa program by Rabbi Moshe Tahor. Make sure that any program that any shul in town, any program has, grab it, learn it. Rav Wolbe brings down in Alei Shur about the Avodah of the Elul. I tried it 1 year. It was really hard, but it really paid off. Since then, I have not been able to do so. He says that there are 5 areas that the person should do with Chazak in Elul. One is learning Gemara, understanding Gemara, Pirush Rashi, Tosfot, whatever you're learning, or Oraisa, you learn it, you understand it. One is Limud Musar, that you need to have a Seder Musar, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day. One is Tefillah, a person with Chazek, that Tefillah should be improved. One is learning Halacha, that you learn, have a Seder for Halacha, whatever it is per day. And one is that Chumash, that you learn something in Chumash, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day. You do 5 things. He says, on the days that you had paid attention to all these 5 areas, Beyom Ze Lo Yecheta. Satan has no shelita over me. He says 5. I don't know. He doesn't say it, but I think maybe it has to do with Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida, the 5 parts of our soul. Anyhow, month of Elul is not the month to give up. It's not the month to just let it go every second, every month. There are tzaddikim that was known that they would go ahead and they would lock themselves off from the Rosh Chodesh Elul. They would not talk to anybody. They're not reachable. You can't find them. Why? Because they knew this is a time. I'm investing for my whole year. What I'm going to share with you today primarily is from these 2 sefarim, Alei Shur of Wolbe and Hadrachot ve'etzot ba'avodat Hashem by Rabbi Naftali Kaplan. You should have Hashem Refuah and Gezut. At Me'av Esim in Eretz Yisrael, he's a Rosh Hashiva. He is a Mashkiach in Eretz Yisrael. He learned in Eretz Yisrael in Baltimore. Actually, his son was the first child that was born in Yeshiva Lane when they first. That son was called Nisan, Rav Nisan Kaplan, the Rosh Hashiva in Eretz Yisrael. He was born in Yeshiva Lane and then he moved to Eretz Yisrael. So he put together an amazing. We had a bunch of our Avrechim. We had a good number of years to have some Va'adim, Musar Va'adim with Rav Naftali Kaplan. We were asking him, he said he's working on it. This book is about 200 pages, but it could take a lifetime just to read or master this. I have used just the part of Elul, is 2 pages. He has about 15 avodot. I have used one 2 years ago, which I'm going to share with you at the end if somebody wants to use it. Another one last year. I see there is so much. It's a lifetime of working on yourself. So how do we do avodah? So Rav Wolbe brings down that avodah must be done with few things in mind. If you wanted to look, one of the things he brings down is an Alei Shur Chelek Sheni, Kuf Tzadi Bet 192, Hitzlamdut. He says that when you want to work on yourself, you have to remember one of the guidelines is that you are practicing. This is not something that's set in stone. Practice, apprenticeship. I want to work on something, I'm just practicing. Why? I remember in Iran, we always played a lot of soccer. So they would tell us that bazihay tamrini bord u bakht nadare. When you're doing practice games, there is no winner or losers. You're practicing. So we had 2 teams, but from the same school. We were trying to play. But if we made a goal or we lost the goal, we did not lose our mind or we did not become broken because this is a practice. But we learn, if I shoot like this, if I block like that, if I pass, we learn the skills. That's what practicing means. anytime you want to work on avodah, it's hitlamdut. And he brings a lot of rayot. We just had it in last week parsha. At the beginning of the Chamishi, Aser Te'aser Kuluz Aracha, Ba'achal Shnatagim Lecha, Shana Shana, Ma'asad Dagan, Chatiroshcha V'Yisarecha, Lema'an Tilmad Le'irat Shem Elokecha. Hashem says, you do all this Sigmaser Sheni, you bring it. Why do you do that? So you could learn. Lema'an Tilmad. You do something repeatedly, you learn. It's a learning experience. Why would it help? Rav Wolbe says, first of all, if you fail, we don't want you to become disappointed because it's Satan. Satan wants us to become disappointed. You don't want to become disappointed. I was trying. I was just trying. And if you are able to do it, you're not going to become haughty. Oh, I did it. I'm a big shot. No, you're just a practice. You want to practice. You're trying to shoot darts. And you try to shoot, you hit the wall. And then if you shoot right in the middle, you're not going to go ahead and tell everybody, listen, I won a competition. No, it was a practice. But in the process of doing the practice, you become better and better. You see what works, what doesn't work. So that's something to remember. It's always hitlamdut. And whenever Rav Wolbe in Alei Shur Chelek Rishon and Chelek Sheni, he brings on some ideas, at the end he gives, most of the time, in a hint, what the avodah is. He says, okay, let's do b'meshech chodshayim, b'meshech shelosha chodeshim, tekufa memushechet. He says 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. You work on such a thing. He says everything in a very, very much concealed way. As we know, Alei Shur was written, so to speak, as a notepad for the Talmidim who were in the Avodah. So it's a book really to learn with somebody that has known this. I remember once, about 32 years ago, I had the zechut to learn with Rab Chaim Kazman, one of the Rabbanim in Israel. He was a Talmid by Rav Wolbe. So I asked him that, what am I supposed to be working on right now? And he says something he learned by Rav Wolbe's Va'at. It was beautiful. He said, Rav Wolbe came and told the Chevra that for 1 month, you are not allowed to say Baruch Hashem. That's it. That was an avodah for 1 month. And you have to think about this. It's a hitlamdut. Why? Because he said, you want to work on Hakarat Tov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, first you have to stop the body for just reacting without thinking. They are menuteket. They are disconnected. The thank you, Baruch Hashem, is a lip service. Misafa lachutz. It's not connected. It says you stop the body from doing it, you connect the neshama and the body together, that now the neshama tells the body, say Baruch Hashem. Now you mean it now. So first, you have to stop a hergel, which is with no da'at. Hamitpalel velo kavana keguf velo neshama, as we said. The goof was acting with no neshama. It's very good to get the goof into the habit, but as long as you run, you drive the car. If it's on autopilot, you are not driving the car. You don't get any credit for it. That's it. You have to be in charge. Many times we're praying. I'm saying the words, but my mind is somewhere else. Over there, my goof is davening. Neshama is not davening. So that's Yiguf below Neshama. We get some sechar. My goof is going to get sechar. But Neshama needs to get the sechar too. They need to be the rider on the top of the horse. And that's the point to get us to the level that the body does not show any resistance. There is no merida. Something else that Rav Wolbe brings down, and Rav Naftali Kaplan also says, he says that the avodah needs to be low and slow. I call it the barbecue style. If you know how to make barbecue, it has to be in a low flame, very slowly, allow it for a long time. If you put it in a high flame, it's going to burn, it's going to singe the outside, inside is going to be rare, it's not going to be cooked, unless you like it that way. But if you really want to be juicy and well done, low and slow. This is avodah, anything you want to work on. You want to work on something, you take something small, and you do it slowly, repeatedly. Low and slow. Small and repeated. That's so important. Somebody who has never ever sat down to have a seder to learn. And now was going to, you know what? I'm going to sit down 3 hours to learn. Okay, you learn 2, 3, 4 days, and then the Satan is going to shoot you down because it's going to have a lot of resistance. What Rav Wolbe says, Shelo le'orer et koach hamerida. Be careful not to wake up that power of resistance, that defense mechanism within us. So Guru says, instead of doing that, he said that, what's reasonable? I could do half an hour a day. I could do 20 minutes. I could do 40 minutes. What's reasonable? A little above my comfort zone. My comfort zone usually is 5 or 10 minutes. I go to 15 minutes. A little bit. And then after a few days, maybe I add a little, but I do it every day. I do that every day. That's the secret. And he says through this also, a person is going to be under the radar. Wolbe brings on a very famous mindset that while he was flying, going from Avodah Musarit to Eretz, somewhere they saw the airplane started descending lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Got to a point, he felt maybe they were having a technical malfunction. And he said, I look down, I'm seeing the sand on the floor. Goes and asks one of the attendants, is everything okay? She says, yeah, we are passing here by Jordanian radars, and it could be that they could suddenly go cuckoo, we can't trust them, and they could shoot on even civilian airplane. So we are going low, this way the radars only sees who is flying up. Whoever is below the radar, they're not gonna see, they're not gonna bother. Wolbe says, I learned the Mamash Musar Haskell, that if you want to work on something, try to go low. Don't try to start shooting up high. Satan sees you, starts shooting rockets, cut you, everything at you. Oh, he's going high. Let me go under the radar, little by little starts ascending and going up. That's the secret in anything in life you want to do, but especially in the Avodah, in order not to bring out that sense of resistance, and also not to feel like, oh, I did a big shot. No, I was just practicing. I did something small and I'm going up. And this way you get your body to get accepting and not showing resistance. They say about Wolbe that at the end of his life, he was in somewhat semi-coma, so he was unconscious, and they had IV, everything in the hospital, so they would come, and they said, the doctor said, they see the lips, that it's completely parched, it's white. You could see him that he's not totally hydrated even if he has an IV. So one of the kids said, can we go ahead and just give him some water? Doctor said, try. I don't think he would be able to drink. So he's unconscious. They bring a cup of water, they bring his head up, and they bring the cup of water next to his lip. They start pouring a little bit on his lips. Wolbe, in his unconscious mode, he starts saying, the body said, I can't eat without the bracha. So Hashem doesn't expect him fully to be conscious, but the body said, I want to do it. And I tell you something else, which similar to this. Our dear friend, Mr. Michael Baradarian, who's very close to Rabbi David, he went over there a few years ago when Rabbi David was hospitalized, and he was in coma. I asked him, Michael, what did you see? He said, you won't believe. He is in the hospital, he's in coma, attached to the machines. He said, every few minutes, he would go like this. He wanted to put on tefillin because he didn't put on tefillin. The body says, I haven't put on tefillin today. He was in coma. He was just going every few minutes. In coma. That's somebody who got his body becoming totality subdued to the neshama. And even when the neshama is not there, body says, I want to do the mitzvah. Our job is to be alert and aware when the body is cooperating, little by little, low and slow, that I'm in charge and I'm guiding it to go towards the right direction. How much time do we have?
We're good.
You're good? Okay, fine. So let me share with you something about Elazar ben Durdaya. Elazar ben Durdaya is Maaseh Gemara Avodah Zarah, that he was doing tremendous amount of Averot. Everyone knows he was a big Baal Taiva. And once he went, he heard that there is a Zonah in one of the Iye Hayam in an island, charges a lot of money, got this money, everything, and he drove, and then he go on a ship, he got over there to go to do his Maaseh Averot. And in Maaseh Averot, something happened very embarrassing. And this Zona told him that you're never going to go to Shuvah. Hearing from a shiksa, from a goya, that you are so far as you're not going to come, it's, as they say, nichnas davar bo ke'er social achnai. Gemara brings somewhere else that it really penetrated, hit him hard, that he left and he went, he started crying. And he said, oh, Eres Shamayim, you come and I feel I have no way to go back. Help me out, help me out. They said, until we want to ask for you, we should ask for ourselves. They bring a pasuk. They said, Hari Muvkaot, mountains and hills, you ask for me. They say, we cannot help you. He asked everybody, nobody helped him, and he put his head between his legs. He started he started bitterly crying, sobbing. Sheyatsa nishmato, he died, and Yatsta Batkol Ba'amra, Rab Elazar ben Durdaya mezuma lechai olam haba. He became a Rebbe. He went to Olam Haba. The Gemara says, Bacha Rabbi ve'am. Rabbi Yehuda said that. Yesh kone olamo b'sha'a achat. V'yesh kone olamo b'shanim rabbi. Somebody gets his Olam Haba in one chance, somebody in many years. We usually learn this Gemara and we look at him and say, wow, look at him, he made it. He was like somebody who won the $1 billion lotto and that's it. Somebody else works all his lifetime to amass some wealth and he did it in one shot. It's a tremendous Rav Dessler. Unbelievable. He twisted to the other side. He said, you know what you see in this? Why was Rebbe crying? Rebbe was crying and saying, do you know why he died? Because he suddenly had a realization that he is Sheol Tachtit. He is so low that there is no way for him to come back, and he had a teshuka to do teshuva, and he came up. Suddenly he is Ish Kadosh V'Tor. Parash Me'avera. He left. But he knew, because he jumped so high, he knew that he cannot maintain that level. And he said that, I know I cannot maintain this level. I better die. And he died. Rebbe cried, said that, Chaval, that you died. Better that you would do teshuvah and then come back next day. You don't have to be Rabbi. Just say that from now on I'll be careful. I'll be careful in Luchot Yichud, Shmirat Einayim. I'll learn Kabbalah, I'll learn Halacha, I'll learn Musar. I'll be careful. And you're going to be living many more years to do mitzvot. He said from here you see that the main avodah of the person is not suddenly shut up and then die. No, you try to work on a daily basis. This is what Hashem wants from us. This is what Hashem says, go slowly, very slowly. Work on yourself slowly. And that's why Rebbe said, Yesh kolot olam b'sha'a achat. He got it in the moment, but there are people who keep on doing it day in, day out, and they do have a tremendous zechut. Rab Ruderman Zatzal used to say that about Abraham, he said, after Akedat Yitzchak, the biggest nisan of his life, Hashem said, Ata yadati ki yere Elokim at. I know that you are Yere Hashem. Yere Elokim. Hashem gives me title. You are a God-fearing man. He says, but somebody got a bigger kavod than Abraham. A bigger title. Who? About Obadiyahu. Obadiyahu was in Achav and Izevel. It says, Obadiyahu haya yare et Hashem me'od. Obadiyahu more than Abraham? What? He is me'od. Abraham is not me'od. Rabbi Ruderman said, Abraham Avinu's avodah was once. One Akedat Yitzchak, tremendous. Bukei Hashemayim va'aretz. We are alive today because of that zechut. But Obadiah was something doing day in, day out. He took 100 Nevi'im. After all the Nevi'im were murdered by Achav and Izevel, he took 100, he saved them, put them in 2 different me'arot, 2 caves, and he was mechalkel. He borrowed money with interest in order to keep them alive. Because he was doing it day in, day out, and he continued doing it for a tekufa memushechet. Yaret Hashem. We see from here that there are some actions that by themselves, in one shot, they're considered like Akedat Yitzchak. Tremendous. But Hashem says, us, we people, Hashem wants most of us to work on something slowly on a daily basis. A repeated action on a daily basis. And we had in Parashat Ekev, Lo tuchal kalotam maher pen tirve alecha chayat asadeh. Hashem, you cannot finish off all the animals and all the Cananim in one shot because you cannot fill up the land, and there are many reasons given. One of the reasons that you have to work slowly and gradually. So this is something to do, to remember whatever you want to work on. What? That's the message also of the daily Korban Tamid. Thank you so much. Wolbe also brings down that there is a concept of Zeri'ah, Binyan, and Tefillah. There are 3 components. The ones who have read his book, Zeri'ah, Binyan, Bechinuch, and the Chinuch, he says there are 2 important components. One is Zeri'ah, planting. One is Binyan, building. And there's also Tefillah. So Zeri'ah means, in our working on ourselves, that we would expose ourselves to Divrei Musar. A person needs to have a Seder Musar every day. Could it be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes that you learn Musar? Preferably, if you can learn on your own. You could listen to a shur, you could learn with the chavruta, but you need to have a few minutes that you learn on your own. This way you're not distracted by somebody else, and you think. Where am I holding? You take stock. You make a cheshbon nefesh, contemplate. What am I holding? What's my madrugah? What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from me? Because in Rosh Hashanah, you're going to go kivnei maron, one by one in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He could judge the whole world in one shot. Why one by one? It's a message for us. I have a moment that I'm with the Melech. A moment. And at that moment, I cannot go and blame my chavruta or my wife or my parents. Hashem says, where are you? Ayyeka. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you holding? Regardless of the whole world, where are you? I know what I've given you. So for that, we need few minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes we do hitbodedut. Few minutes we need to have ourselves, and you take any sefer that's Musa, you read and you think a little bit. Where I'm holding. And another point that's important to know is Rav Wolbe brings down, and Rav Naftali Kaplan also says, he says that is having a notebook that you write down your avodah, your commitments, what you want to do, what's your plan. It's important to write it down. Mentally, you could have ideas, but it could be a mishmash. It is something mixed up, balagani. If you write it down, it makes a difference. Because you would come back the next day, 2 days later, what I wrote down. You could make it better, you could add, subtract. And Rav Wolbe brings down actually this from the Gemara Shabbat. Rabbi Yosef ben Levi, he went ahead and he said, the Chachamim say you cannot shelo ikra over haner, you cannot learn under a light on Shabbat because you could go ahead and tilt it and you couldn't be chas v'sholom over the averah havara. It's Shabbat. He says, Ani ekra v'lo ate. I read, I want to learn Shabbat. He started reading, he started learning. He got too much engrossed and he tilted. I said, oh, I made a mistake. Gemara says, on Mosei Shabbat, Katav bepinkaso, he wrote in his notebook, Ani Yosef ben Levi, עברתי מסד דברי חכמים, בחילת שבת, בעזרת השם, למחר, ייבנה בית המקדש, ואני אביא חטאת שמנה. I did another, I'm going to bring. What? I'm going to bring a korban chatat. So, why does the Gemara need to read that he wrote? Why do I care that he had? The Gemara is teaching us. Everybody needs to have their own Pinkas. Rav David Shimshon Pinkas, Zichron Livracha, his last name was Pinkas. You write something in your notebook. People write down something maybe in their phone, it's digital. You cannot access that on Shabbat. It's much better. Written word, it makes a difference. It makes it, even now, psychologically, they have found out kids who are learning to write cursive writing with their fingers, and they learn better vocabulary than people who do with computer. Because there is another level of sensory motor part of the brain that gets activated and I'm using my finger and I'm writing something, and it makes it that my hippocampus on my brain, which is responsible for my memory, for my zikaron, it learns better, it processes better, it connects more neurons in the brain, there's many more firings of the neurons, so I have a better memory and better retention. So if you want, write it down, it's important to write. So think about what avodah you want to work on. You could be thinking about what are the things that I want to work on. Anyone, all of us, we do have ideas. What I want to work on. I'm going to share you something from Naftali Kaplan, because what Rav Wolbe doesn't do explicitly, everything Rav Wolbe says with hints, with very under the Rav Naftali Kaplan, he wrote everything. This is a great book to help anybody who wants to work on themselves. And then I'm saying, you open the book, first of all, you have to do the Hakdama, do the preface. Do the first few pages, he gives ideas about how to go about this, and then you open on any subject, emunah, zerizut, atzlut, simcha, or you go by mu'adim, or you go by Torah, by learning, by tefillah, by chesed, you go by shavuot, elul. Here, you open part of the elul, it is one page, he says, he gives an idea about what to work on elul, and then darche avodah, he gives 12 ideas. I told you, I just got one idea the whole month of Elul 2 years ago. I worked on it and I shared it with the group. If you remember, we had Shabbat Selichot. I shared it with people if they want to do that. And I printed cards for them. I'm telling you, until the people come over and say that Elul, their lives changed and the whole year was a different year for them. So if you want, it's small, again, low and slow, but this really, really works. So one of the avodah that Rav Naftali Kaplan brings on is the following. He says that the idea of Elul is for us to getting closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The idea is to become more aware that Hashem exists, He's in charge, and He expects us to behave well. It's the idea of Hakadosh Baruch Hu exists. Yesh borei ba'olam. In His word, I'm going to tell you. Yachshov, the person should think. V'tov shiomar b'fem alam. It's important if you can say it also verbally. And we said that there are 3 areas that we work on. One is mental, machshava. One is speech, dibur, and one is ma'aseh, action. Avodah could include either one of these areas, 2 of them, or all 3 at the same time. So this one has to do with mind and pen, with mind and speech. So a person should say, I'm going to say it in Hebrew and in English, Yesh borei la'olam. There is a creator. And you take a moment off, it could be just 10, 20 seconds. You think, there is a God in this world. There is a creator. The second, Vehu ro'eh oti. And He sees me. He's looking at me. He's watching me. And the third part, Ve'ichpat lo ma she'ani oseh. He cares about what I do. It matters to Him what I do or what I don't do. That's it. Lo neslo. Do this, He says, about 10 times a day. If you could go about 20. But every half an hour. You could do every 10 minutes. You could do every hour. But in the middle of your work day, you're learning whatever you're doing. Suddenly, you take a mental note. If you can say it, say it. If not, think about it. You tell yourself that there is a creator. He sees me. What I do or don't do matters to me. What I see or don't see matters to me. What I say or don't say matters to me. It matters to me. And He was doing this from the today, Rosh Chodesh Elul, He says, until Simchat Torah. He said, you will see that little by little your level of emunah goes higher. Your level of believing in Hashkocha. Hashem is there, palpable. He's there. In the words of Rav Wolbe, they asked him at the end of his life, what was the goal you tried to accomplish with your Talmidim? He said, one goal in mind. That Ruchniut is real. Ruchniut is davar amiti. I could say, this is real. I could touch it. Ruchniut is even more real than this shtem. It's real. So we want to go ahead and inculcate that idea. Yesh borei la'olam, v'hu ro'eh oti, ve'ichpat lo ma she'ani oseh. That's an idea, if you want to work on. There are many more avodot you could take and some other avodot to do, or some avodot that you know that you want to work on. But this, I did it myself, and I'm planning to do it again this year. And you don't have to announce it to anybody. This is something internal, but if you can even say it, you know, your day, suddenly you start to say that there is a creator. He sees me, and it matters to Him what I do and what I don't. What I say, what I don't say. And He says, continues, tied to a mitzvah, or when you want to refrain from doing something wrong. You're walking down the street and suddenly there's a billboard, you see somebody, and you close your eyes and you tell yourself, there is a creator. He sees me. And it matters to Him what I see and what I don't see. It starts penetrating little by little inside our soul. Our body starts feeling it. Yesh borei la'olam. There is hashkacha. And He cares about what I do and what I don't do. What I say, what I don't say, what I see, what I don't see. וכך יעשה 10 עד 15 פעמים, 10 to 15 times a day, מראש חודש אלול עד שמחת תורה. We have here printed, if you want to take it, in the back it says a little bit more detail. In the front it says there is a creator, He sees me, what I do or don't do matters to Him. And so some people, they took actually screenshot, they put it on their phone. Every time they want to open their phone, because I'm addicted, they open, wow, that's the first thing I see. I stop a moment. And they said that helped them to spend less time on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on YouTube. And it's the same, Hashem is looking at me. What I'm looking at matters to Him. How I spend my time, especially in Elul, matters to Him. And Be'ez Hashem, through that, you should all have a ketiva v'chatima tova. Amen. Go to pass this around and bring me back to this. Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
to reference any like thought leaders in the world, but how it goes. That's a guy. That's a Tony Robbins, right? He'll come and tell you.
guy is what?
Let's say a guy like Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Okay.
He'll come and tell you like, if you want to do anything, your state and your energy and your mindset is that base ground has to be there before you can complete the goal, before you complete the action. So he'll always tell you like, like take a deep breath or move to get the bad energy out or whatnot. What's your advice from like a more religious level about how to calm the body or the mind or get yourself in the mood to complete the goal, complete the action? Because sometimes you're motivated, but you just don't have enough energy, or you're tired, or you're in a bad mood, and you don't want to do the workout or get to feel tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, so that one you should look at Alei Shur Chelek Rishon. I think this is the fourth ma'amar that Wolbe has. Yemei Ahava, Yemei Sin'a, Yemei Yerush. Wolbe brings on Rabbeinu Tam from Sefer HaYashar that the concept of us fluctuating, being in a good mood or in a bad mood, is a normal process, functionality of life. It says the person needs to know that the times that you are motivated, you do your best, whatever you have. When you're not motivated, it says what you need to do, you lower your expectation, but you do not let go of whatever avodah you're doing. Let's say that you're motivated, you're learning an hour a day, and there's a day that there is no way. You say, I can't focus, my mind is somewhere else, I'm down, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. It says you should go to your learn for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Don't give up. Don't say that I'm going to completely take off. Understand today is like this, and then pray. And the etzah that Wolbe brings on from Rabbeinu Tam, Sefer HaYashar, is hitchatshut v'hana'ah. And novel, I guess something new, and also something that's enjoyable. The group should become happy. That you really get a gishman, something that's new. Do something that brings up again that joy, that pleasure of whatever you're working on. But do not let go of the avodah. The person goes, okay, I'm going to let go for a few days. He says there is a sakana. A person would let go of whatever they were working on. Chas v'shalom, they would lose whatever they have amassed, and now they have to start anew.
So you're saying that the hitchhashut has to be like what, going for a walk or learning?
Like keep your small thing of whatever you committed to. But do something else also new. Something else, learn something else, do something else. Or find something that rejuvenates you, that brings some pleasure. That you're telling your goof, your body is the one who's not going. Your neshama is motivated. The goof is not motivated. The body is I'm not motivated. You say the body, what do you want? You want me to buy you a cheese sandwich? I'll buy you a cheese sandwich. Let's go outside, listen to some music, take a little time off. But you say that something that I've committed to do daily, I have to do that. I'm going to make it small. I'm not going to put too much pressure.